guys, AM race was awesome. Now let's hop on board with our Pro-Am lobby tonight. It looks like we've got 13 drivers joining the grid. Let's go ahead and get all the race information up and live for everybody to see. And let's just see who's rounding out our field tonight. Grid spot number 1 is occupied by a Sweaty Palms Flying Fox Racing Toyota Concept racing car. We've got Mr. M. Williams in P2 running in his 911 RSR No Limit Racing representative. Bringing the Victory Pace team into the Pro-Am lobby, we've got Stackin' Yak, newcomer to the 8-3T League Series. We'd love to see him here in 4th place. We've got Rosario putting on a little drifty show through the hairpin in his 911 RSR. Tinsley coming up into 5th place here. Tinsley thought running his Mercedes GT3 Group car. Bottlefed right behind him, also running the Mercedes Group 3 car here tonight. SoCal picking up our 7th grid spot. First one that we've seen in the Aston Martin. Another No Limit Racing representative here showing up. We've got Mr. Dwig. Jenny, one of the only other Lexuses in the 6 Sigma GT Challenge right now, sitting here in P9, starting her outlap. Another one representing the Flying Fox Racing team, Nos Fox, in his Mustang, sitting in grid spot 10. 11th's occupied by Method. One of the only ones that we've seen running the Renault. We've got Merch, another one of the Victory Pace Racing representatives here in grid spot 12, and we've got Zester running another spicy livery on his 911. So let's head back up to the front of the pack here, where we've got Rosario getting ready to start their first hot lap. Keeping it clean out of the S's there. He's come up the left-hander, approaching the Degner corners. Rosario using up every bit of curb they can there, coming through the second Degner up to the hairpin. Going to be hard on the anchors, let the car coast through there. Try to get on the power as soon as you can coming out of that hairpin. Got Sweaty Palms picking up P2, not far behind. And down here in the 3rd, got a little bit of a bottleneck starting to happen in our qualifier here. You got Tinsley sitting in P3 with Bottlefed not far behind here in P4. Both of these drivers here sitting in their Mercedes cars. Got Williams in P5 and 911 with SoCal right on the bumper there in P6. We've got G down here in P7, also in 911 with Yak not too far behind there. The Victory Pace Racing GTR. Jenny putting the hammer down in her first hot lap. Running in the Lexus RC Group 3 car. So Rosario is going to go through a set of time of 1:59.1 for the first hot lap. That's not going to be good enough for P1. As Sweaty does a 1:59 flat. And all drivers getting knocked down in position as Williams goes fastest so far with a 58.9. Sweaty running a 59 flat. Jenny running a 59 flat in the Flying Fox Lexus. Tinsley also running a 59 flat in his 6 Sigma Mercedes. We've got Rosario running a 59.1, not too far off of the rest of the pack. Only 0.2 of a second separating the top 5 drivers so far. Rosario going purple on a second hot lap here. Rosario putting the hammer down. Bottlefed sitting at a 59.4. We've got Method at a 59.8. Merge. First one to dip in to 2 minutes, but just over a second separating the top 8 drivers. We've got Nos Fox down here with 2:01.1. Might have run into a little bit of an issue with traffic through his first hot lap. Nothing in his way though right now. We've got Zester sitting in the P10 201.2. Stackenyak also with a 201, sitting at a 201.3. A little bit of a back marker here for him. We've got G sitting in a P12 and SoCal in P13, rounding out our field. Having a little bit of an issue for his first hot lap, sitting at a 211 flat for his first one. Captain, I can set grid order, you just have to start back at the pack, so stay in the lobby. So Williams getting ready to finish his second hot lap here. He's enjoying his time on the pole right now with a 58.9 as he approaches the final chicane. Rosario getting ahead though, setting a 58.3. Williams not able to capitalize, going to do a 59.2, but his 58.9 knocking him down to fourth now as Bottlefed sits at 58.3. Tinsley setting a 58.4. And Williams' 58.9 is going to have to settle him for fourth place right now. Sweaty's 59 flat is not too far behind, just over a tenth of a second off. Jenny getting knocked down from P3 to P6. A little bit of an issue on her last lap, but she was on running a 2:13. She ran a 59 flat for her first hot lap. So let's see what she's going to do here as she does her third hot lap here. Zester not too far behind off pace with her running a 59.1. Jenny pushing just a little wide through the last part of the S's, though, leans it back up hard on the accelerator, coming out of them up the left-hander down to the Degner corners. Jenny gliding the Lexus through the Degners there, keeping it clean. She starts to approach SoCal there. Jenny going purple. Was just about to click off and go to Zester, but she's going purple, so we're still on board with her here. Looks clean and tidy through the hairpin there. Manages to keep it a little quick too. That car's a little bit slow through the hairpin. Jenny hammered down up to Spoon. Jenny bringing the car around the Spoon corner, getting ready to come up to the front straight. Nosfox having himself an off. He needs to get off of the track there before he becomes an issue for somebody else. Ooh, lost a little bit of time there through. Ooh, she picks up all of the curb there. Launches the Lexus into the air. Manages to collect the car before going into the final chicane though. Incredible bit of driving there from Jenny to hold on to that Lexus coming out of 130R. Several lead positions happening here while we were staying on board with Jenny trying to find some airtime there. SoCal moving up with a 58 flat now. Sweaty Palms also with a 58 flat. Rosario just a little bit slower, 58 flat. 6/100th of a second separating those two drivers. Bottlefed 58.3. Tinsley getting knocked down in 58.4. Williams is 58.4. Good enough for P6. And Jenny picking up a half-second penalty for cutting all the curb at 130R there. This one wants to jump down into the 59s now. So 9 minutes gone through this race. Jenny's qualifying essentially over for now. Zester running a 59.1. He still has an opportunity to finish out his lap. 9.5 minutes gone through this qualifier now. The RSR with the 159.2. Merge with the 159.3. The Victory Pace Racing Mazda. We've got G sitting at a 59.4, stacking at 59.9, and Nosfox rounding out the field. 2-minute flat. Less than 3 seconds separating our entire grid here. So let's see if we're going to have any position changes here as drivers cross the line for their final lap. not looking like it. Tinsley moving himself up into P4 with a 58.2. G moving up into P7 with 58.8. I saw Yak there setting a 59.4. Yak though sitting here in P12. And Merch sitting himself a 59 flat as well. That seems to be the sweet spot for everybody tonight. We've got a couple more drivers crossing the grid here. Zester putting himself a 158 time, it looks like. Rosario spinning as he comes through the hairpin. Commentator's curse already strangling drivers as we go through the grid here. It looks like we got one more crossing the line, not able to set a better time. So grid order as follows because of Rosario's Spinella. We've got SoCal sitting out in front, 58 flat. Sweaty Palms also with a 58 flat, just a little bit slow. In the Flying Fox Toyota Concept, we've got Rosario sitting in P3, this is 911. We got Tinsley. Six Sigma Mercedes sitting in 4th place. Bottle Fed Mustang also in the Moser Mercedes there in 5th place. We've got Williams sitting in a P6. Method in P7 in the RSR. We've got G in his 911. The NLR Racing Club representing there, I believe. Running in a 58.8. Zester in P9 with a 58.9. Merch P10 with 59 flat. Jenny getting knocked down to P11 with 59 flat. Dag and Yak P12 with 59.4. And Nas Fox rounding out the grid at P13. So guys, we're going to take a break for a couple minutes here. When we come back, we're going to get this race started. Stick around. Yes, here we go. Pro-Am race about to start. The lights are going on. All starts will be penalized, as it says on screen. Lights are out. Drivers are off. SoCal getting himself a little bit of a slide as he comes out ahead in P1. Sweaty getting himself a great start there. Going to try to challenge along the inside there. Sweaty running a wide there. We got SoCal out in front, Sweaty in 2, Tinsley in at P3, Rosario dropping down a position in at P4. We got Bottle Fed moving up into P5 there, Williams in at P6, G dropping down to P7, Method in P8 through the first corner, Merch P9, Jenny moving up a position in to P10, same with Stack and Yak moving up into P11. Got Nosfox down to P12, Zester dropping down into P13, and Captain late scratch unable to qualify starting this race, rounding out the grid in P14 now. We move up front with the front leaders now. We still got SoCal sitting out front trying to pick up a little bit of gap to everybody starting on the medium tire. He's got 1.5 seconds to himself and Sweaty, but runs a little bit wide coming out of the second. Degner there giving Sweaty a great run on him now. 1.5 seconds dropping down to 0.3 as all drivers start moving into the hairpin. SoCal still sitting out front. Rosario making a move around back up into P3. It's got Bottle Fed up into P4. Tinsley dropping down into P5. Williams still sitting in P6. We've got Merch right there in P7. Jenny making a move along to the outside. It's going to be an inside move as all drivers come into Spoon Corner now. Jenny thinks better of an inside move on this lap. Slots in behind. Merch can sit there in a P8. You got G not far behind in a P9. Method sitting in P10. We got a battle there for P11 as we got Yak and Captain having a drag race. Captain making a move along the inside lines that both drivers come up through 130R here. Let's see how everyone handles it. Running just a little bit wide. Method spins. Method with a 360, catching too much curb, but through 130R there. Zester needing to get on the anchors as well, having to get out of it. That's going to move both drivers down to the bottom of the pack. Nosfox moving up into P12, and Captain taking advantage of everybody's offs, moving himself from the last of the grid to P10 through his first lap. Jenny dropping down one into P9. G managing to get around her through 130R there as well. So many position changes happening through the first lap from our Pro-Am drivers. Let's go ahead and start back at the top here. We've got SoCal finding that little bit of grip that he wants, moving up 1.5 seconds to everybody, representing there in what looks like Flying Fox, Aston Martin. We've got Sweaty Palms there, P2 in the Toyota concept, with Rosario chomping at the bit there in the 911. Not far behind though, watching the battle unfold, we've got Bottlefed P4 and Tinsley still sitting in P5. Let's sit on board for the battle here. It's Rosario sitting right on the bumper of Sweaty right now. Oh, lucky buddy, you're welcome. I do it for you guys, so thanks for coming around and watching and racing with us, dude. Rosario make a move along the inside of the hairpin, touches bumpers on Sweaty, almost spins Sweaty out, gives a position back, tries to have another battle again because Bottlefed had to slow down as well. You can see him in the mirror there of Rosario's 911. Rosario heavy on the anchors, coming through, gonna stick right on the bumper through Spoon Corner here, getting a little close as they get ready to come out of the corner up to the back straight. Rosario gonna try to slide in, pick up a little bit of slipstream. Sweaty diving instantly to the inside line to protect it. Sweaty moving to the outside for the corner. Rosario, though, having to give up a little bit of momentum in order not to go off tracks and not able to capitalize on the back straight there. And Tinsley not able to find the brakes, diving in on everybody. Fortunately, not taking anybody out, it looks like. Sweaty, though, getting the brunt of it here. And Jenny tapping the back of Tinsley. Oh, how bad I wish GT7 had a replay function. Tinsley not finding the brakes, turning into a rocket ship, coming into the final chicane there. Captain picked himself up a half-second penalty. Tinsley moving in inside on Jenny there just a little bit. So we got a yellow flag ahead now. And oh no, SoCal's had an off. SoCal's had an off. Rosario's managed to pick up P1. Not too sure what happened there, how the position changed. Once again, wishing that we had a replay opportunity. Rosario going purple on this lap, sitting out P1, second and a half ahead of Bottlefed, himself is over a second. Running ahead of Williams. Williams taking advantage of the chaos, moving into P3. That's going to move G up into P4 now. Sweaty dropping down to P5. SoCal falling behind into P6. Rocket Man, Tinsley in P7 now, all over the bumper of SoCal. Both drivers heavy into Spoon. SoCal pushing the car wide. Tinsley making a move along the inside there, finding a little bit more grip. Tinsley running on the soft tire, SoCal running on the medium tire. Tinsley getting some support in the chat here as he moves up into P6 and starts closing down on Sweaty. Let's go ahead and check back in with the rest of the drivers here. We got Jenny leading a good amount of the pack here as Captain tries to make a move through 130R. Does, makes a move around the inside through the final chicane. Jenny dropping down to P8. Jenny in P8, the Flying Fox Lexus has got a Mustang lining up beside her to drag race. Who's going to be on the anchors first into the first corner? Looks like it's going to be Jenny taking the inside line, carrying a lot more speed and momentum. Nosfox pushing wide, picking up a little bit of dirt there as he comes inside too much. And we've had another off back there in the first corner. Looks like Zester pushed himself a little bit too wide into the first corner there. That's going to drop him down into P12. And it's going to give Merch a good run behind him in P13 to close that delta there a little bit. Sweaty dropping down into P4. 14. Rosario still sitting in P1, Bottlefed, P2, Williams in P3 for now as our first three front runners. We've got G not far behind, No Limit Racing representative in a P4, running on soft tires as well, trying to close the gap to the rest of the pack up front. Tinsley moving up P5 now. Got SoCal in P6. We've got Captain after making the move on Jenny and 130R on the last lap, moving up P7. Jenny herself down into P8. Nosfox coming in P9. Less than a second separating him and Jenny. So 4 laps in, field isn't spreading out as much as we had seen in the AM lobby. Nosfox drifting. Nosfox completely having it off. I wonder if we might have had a hardware issue there. Nosfox finds the accelerator and the steering wheel again. Gets the car back on the track. An unfortunate turn of events for Nosfox in the Moser Racing Mustang. Fortunately, though, we are running light damage, so he's already through the front of the car is repaired for him, so he can get on the skinny pedal and try to pick up some of that time there. Moving back up front, Rosario increasing his gap on the soft tires now, 1.8 seconds to Bottlefed Mustang. Bottlefed coming through now in the Mercedes, 1.1 separating him and Williams in the 911. G still sitting in that 1 second gap behind him, also in the 911. See if Tinsley's starting to make up any grounds here. Still 5 seconds off of the rest of the pack up front there. 9 seconds off of the leader for now. Tinsley sitting at P5. And we got Captain now. Let's hop on board with Captain as he's all over the bumper of SoCal. Getting a little squirrely there coming out of the hairpin. But trying to find the slipstream on SoCal. Don't know if he's going to try to make a move before they come up the spoon corner. Let's see what's going to happen here. Oh, he wants it. He's going to try to go, decides to get out of it. Lines back up with SoCal. Impressive driving here from Captain. Captain sliding back in behind SoCal as both drivers come out of spoon. Half second separating him here. Not going to be enough time to get much of a run coming up to 130R. Let's see if he's going to make any kind of move coming through the final chicane here like he did on Jenny a few laps ago here. Captain backing out of the accelerator, preventing kind of arrow wash, pushing him wide. It's hard on the brakes coming into the final chicane, all over the bumper of SoCal. Gets on the accelerator a little bit earlier than it looks like, 0.4 of a second separating and dropping between the drivers now. Still going to stay on board with Captain as he starts closing his delta to him and SoCal. A little bit of a misshift it sounded like there. Still gaining the momentum on him. Don't think he's going to try to make a move along the inside here. So P7 as both drivers come into the S's for now. SoCal holding on to P6 for now. Hopping back on board with Jenny here. Jenny coming through the first corner herself. Starting to find a little bit of rhythm there, setting 2:01s in the Flying Fox Lexus. 4 seconds separating her in P7. 3 separating her in Stacking Gag. 9. Zester starting to find a little bit of pace after having that off in T1 just a few laps ago. We've got P10, we've got Method in the RSR. In P11, 3 seconds separating him and Sweaty. Sweaty moving up a couple of positions now in P12. Victory Paces Racing's Merch coming in P13. We've got Nosfox down in P14. After we had seen his control issue there coming down the back straight. Looks like all is well with him for now. He's going to have to put the pedal down and find some pace here to make up some positions in this race. Speaking of, we are 11.5 minutes into this race already, with Rosario moving a huge gap to Bottlefed now, 2.8. Each time we check in, that gap is increasing just a little bit more. Running on the soft tires, we've got Bottlefed also running on soft tires as well. 3 seconds separating those drivers. Rosario setting in 58.9, but not the fastest lap. That belongs to Bottlefed Mercedes, the 58.8. No pace is there to catch up. Bottle Fed sliding in, it looks like, for his 90% race pace to keep it smooth and collected throughout the duration of it. We've got Williams less than a second behind now in the 911. Quite within slipstream range, not going to be able to change that gap much as both drivers come to T1 now. We've got G and the Nobleman Racing 911 behind him. That gap growing just a little bit now, going to about a second and a half. Tinsley still sitting in P5, but oh no, Tinsley having an off coming through P1. Soft tires starting to give way on him. Over 2/3 of the way worn. Tinsley losing a position to SoCal there. Captain loves seeing the yellow flag pop up in his HUD. It's going to give him an opportunity to use those medium tires halfway worn, try to find a little bit more grip than Tinsley and go and attack him. Tinsley goes into the pits, Jenny moving up position at 8 now. Got Stack and Axel sitting in a P9, Zester in P10. Jenny a little bit slower on her last lap, running a 203, otherwise running 201s, it looks like consistent now. Same thing with Stack and running 201s as well. Second and a half separating himself from Jenny. 3 seconds separating him and Zester. Zester still sitting in P10. Method in the Alfa RSR P11. Sweaty in P12. Merch P14. Sorry, 13 in the Mazda. And we've got Nas Fox rounding out the grid, still sitting in P14, trying to close that delta to him and Merch. Half a tank of gas and over halfway good medium tires and still go there. Rosario once again still increasing the gap, and soft tires starting to give way. 3.6 seconds separating him and Bottle Fed soft tires also starting to give way. Williams tires exact same position, same with G. All these drivers starting on soft tires. Captain first one checking in here on the mediums, really closing that gap to Tinsley now. Tinsley getting a little bit squirrely with that Mercedes as the tires start letting go on him. He's going to stay out on the softs, it looks like. Nobody pitting just yet. Soft tires really getting away for a lot of these drivers, but they're still sitting on half a tank of fuel or just a little bit less. It looks like everybody's starting to settle into the race pace now. Captain getting a little squirrely coming into the first corner. Manages to hold on, though, keeping it on the track as he comes out of it. But that does give SoCal an opportunity to close the gap by a couple tenths or so. Sitting in P7 and Flying Fox Aston. We've got Jenny still sitting in P8 and Flying Fox Lexus Zester P9. Stacking X still P10. 11 and 12 with Method and Sweaty. Merch and Nose Fox. House Fox rounding out our grid. Rosario still sitting in P1, 3.8 seconds, separating Bottle Fed still. Bottle Fed starting to come under pressure from Williams, though. Williams in the 911 there. Let's go ahead and hop on board with him. Williams trying to chase down Bottle Fed. Getting all over the bumper, taking a much faster line through the chicane. And oh, a little bit of tap on the bumper there from Bottle Fed. Bottle Fed goes into the pits there. So Williams following a little too closely there in the middle of the racing in 911, gives a little tap there to Bottle Fed as Bottle Fed goes into the pits to pick up some new shoes there. Tinsley not far behind. His front soft tires completely gone. Let's stick on board with Bottle Fed here. I'm wondering if the contact with Williams there gave him a penalty at all. It Doesn't look like he picked up a pit lane penalty, so Bottlefed coming out of the pits now in P10, still holding on to the fast lap with 158.8. Tinsley coming out in P11. Now we have Zester and Birch going into the pits as well. Nosfox coming through to the final chicane now. Not going to be able to get an undercut onto Zester. He's going to be able to get one on Birch here. Birch coming out of the pits. Looks like it's going to be close. Birch manages to stay ahead in P13. Fresh set of medium tires coming from T1 now. Zester picking a fresh set of soft tires when he tries to pick up the pace position as he can throughout the rest of the race. 17 and a half minutes gone in 1 hour endurance so far. Sweaty running a medium tire, just a little bit over halfway worn down on his, moving up into P9 after everybody pitting. Method now in P8, stacking in P7. Jenny moving up into P8, still running fairly consistent lap times within a second or two of each other. We've got SUZUKA here in P5 now. This medium tire is doing well for him. Same can be said before Captain down to P4. Now we've got Rosario in the pits. Williams also diving into the pit, same as G. So 3 front runners. We go ahead and box the cars now for new tires, maybe some fuel. That's going to give Captain an opportunity here. Captain coming across the start-finish line. His medium tires a little bit over a quarter of the tank. He's going to get an undercut on all 3 and move himself up into P1. SoCal also getting a cut on the 3, getting into P2. I don't know if Jenny's going to be able to get enough cut. She is, though, on the medium tires. She's going to move herself up into P3 now. Bear in mind, all these drivers are still going to have to pit here within the next few laps or so. Now we've got Rosario coming out of the pits in 4th. Yak moving up a couple positions in 5th as we've got Method in 6th, Sweaty in 7th, and Bottlefed in 8th. Tinsley down into P9th. Williams dropping down to P10 coming out of the pits late, with G also late coming out of the pits. John Sester down. P12, Birch, P13, Nosfox rounding our grid down P14. We got lucky in the chat, cheering on a fellow Snick, hoping that the PPR Victory Pace Racing Team can deliver here tonight. So far, we got TCR Captain sitting out in front with 2.5 second lead. Just SoCal. SoCal still running on the same medium tires there. Jenny moving up into P3. Her medium tires about to let go, though. Rosario just fresh coming out of the pits with a new set of medium tires here. He's going to be able to find more grip than Jenny. Jenny, no doubt, will go into the pits within the next lap or two. She's going to lose some positions here. We've got Stackett in P5 running 4.5 seconds off of Rosario there. Halfway worn down medium tires, doing very well with his tire saving strategy so far. A little bit of a pack going up here. So we've got Method in 6th with Sweaty not far behind. Bottlefed and Tinsley. All drivers getting ready to come through 130 already. See Tinsley getting on the brakes there. Everybody coming through it clean now. A little bit of contact with Method and Stackin'. Both those drivers come through the final chicane. Sweaty getting a good run on Stackin' there. Going to try to make a move there. He does. Looks like Yak dove into the pits there. He's got Bottlefed right on his side. We've got a drag race going into T1 with both these drivers. Sweaty's going to go ahead and concede to it there. Let's check out the action from Tinsley's point of view here. Sweaty backing out of it. It's giving Williams a little bit of a chance for a run there. So Tinsley just a little bit better pace for the Essence, wanting to try to get around the 911 on the Toyota. Just can't make an opportunity happen here. He's going to get right on the bumpers of Sweaty and Williams there. Method diving into the Degner with the Bottle not far behind. Sweaty, Williams, and Tinsley. All drivers coming through the second Degner there. Williams finding that pace and that grip, taking the inside line through the second Degner. Tinsley's going to slot up right behind. Heavy on the anchors coming through the hairpin there. A little bit of contact with everybody there. And Jeep giving Williams the tap. Or I'm sorry, giving Tinsley the tap. Tinsley moving up into P7 past Williams through the hairpin there. Williams dropping down into P8. Bottle fed all over the back of Method's bumper right now as all drivers come through Spoon Corner. Tinsley trying to make a move along the inside of Bottle Fed. It's going to have another drag race here as these drivers come up to 130R down the back straight. Got Method sitting out in front. Tinsley, a little bit more speed there in the Mercedes. And Bottle Fed's going to back out of it. Oh, we had some contact behind. It looks like G, a little bit of contact onto Bottle Fed. Manages to keep it on the track, but it's going to drop down a couple positions there. Sweaty sliding in before the chicane there. Going to take P8. Bottle Fed, P7 there now. Let's hop back on board with Tinsley as he's getting himself a run on Method now. Tinsley getting the run, making the move and making P4 stick on Method. Method not far behind though. We still have Bottle Fed. Bottle Fed moving up into P6 as Jenny went into the pits to change out her medium tires. So that's going to move Jenny down the grid there. Still no change with our front runners. The captain sitting up front, SoCal in second. Rosario in third now. Rosario starting to run his own race with 10-second gap separating either side of him. Tinsley sitting in fourth. Method 1 second behind, and that gap is increasing a little bit. Tinsley's soft tires giving him a little bit better grip than Method's mediums are. So 1 second growing to 1.5 as drivers approach the hairpin corner here. Tinsley diving it in hard. Method a little bit more conservative on the anchors, giving Bottle Fed an opportunity to get the run up there on him. Bottle Fed wanting to make a move on the outside. Method going off to protect. It's going to be the inside line, the first part of the Spoon Corner here. Bottle Fed wanting to make a move on the outside, has to get a little bit heavier on the anchors there. It's going to give Method an opportunity to find some grip, make a move on the inside and hold on to P5. Bottle Fed in the Moser Racing Mercedes is going to have to slot back in and try to make another move here in the next lap or two. Let's pop back on board with G there. G making a move on to Sweaty. Decides better of it. Slots back in the No Limit Racing 911 sitting in P8. Both drivers are coming up to the final chicane. Let's hop on board with him so he's going to pick up any kind of slipstream, make a move. And Method spins. We've got Method off in the chicane right there. Sweaty's going to make it easy for G, diving into the pits there. G on fresh mediums and a fairly full tank of fuel there. He's going to go ahead and keep on going, moving up into P4. Tinsley taking over P2 now. That's going to give Rosario the lead back into P1. As the rest of the field goes ahead and pits. G moving up into P4. We've got Zester making his way through the field now into P5. Tinsley getting all kinds of love here in the chat. Love to see the encouragement, the interaction, guys. Way to root on everybody. We got Method recovering from his off in the chicane. They're still sitting in P6. Captain dropping down into P7, coming out of the pits with fresh mediums and a full tank of fuel. Tank set for SoCal running though with soft tires now. Williams not far behind SoCal on the medium tires. Jenny sitting in P10. Got Merch in P11. Stacking, dropping down into P12. Sweaty Palms in 13. Nosfox picking up the field here in 14th, coming out of the pits now in a set of mediums. 26 minutes down in the race, less than 34 to go. We've got Rosario sitting out in front. Tinsley making his way through the field here up in P2. We've got Bottle Fed not far behind in P3. G and P4, both Bottle Fed and G coming out of Spoon Corner now. Tinsley taking over fast lap. As Diamond's pointing out in the chat there, Tinsley with a 158.7. Tinsley really finding pace there in that Mercedes. Stay on board with Bottle Fed bottle fed the opportunity is looking for to close that delta over the next few laps. Method sitting down in P6 in a drag race with Captains. Both these drivers head up to T1. Captain taking the inside line. Method's going to concede. Captain hard on the anchors though. Almost gives up the car to Barry R. Coming out of T1, but holds on to it. Takes P6 now. It's going to drop Method down into P7. Less than a second behind him is going to be SoCal. SoCal finding a little bit cleaner line through the S's here. It looks like he's starting to drop that delta down 0.7 down to a 0.5, 0.4. So Method's got his work cut out for him. He's going to have to go on defense mode because he's got SoCal and the Flying Fox Aston thinking about an inside move as he comes up the hill to the left hand. Going to side better of it. Dive in through the Dagners. SoCal makes the move and stick through the first one cleanly. He's going to go ahead and move up into P7. Method dropping down to P8. He's now got to contend with the No Limit Racing at 911 of Mr. Williams behind him in P9. Method losing some pace here, not quite sure what's going on. Medium tires only halfway worn. So Method dropping down into P9 as Williams makes kind of a lazy move around, coming up to Spoon Corner to take P8 away from him. Method's RSR in P9. Jenny in the Lexus, setting her fastest lap in her last one at a 2-minute flat. She's sitting in P10 with a healthy gap between herself and Merch. Merch and Stackin, Victory Pace Racing teammates here in P11 and 12. We got Sweaty in P13 still. Nosfox still sitting in P14. 1-minute gap separating him and our leader Rosario. Rosario still sitting out in front on the medium tire. Tinsley still sitting out in second place on very worn soft tires and less than a quarter tank of fuel. Tinsley going to have to pit here soon. Bottle fed in a much better situation with his tires and fuel right now. P3 would be able to get an easy undercut on Tinsley when Tinsley goes into the pits here the next lap. And Zester sitting in P5 trying to chase down G in his no limit 911 there, who's sitting in P4. Captain nearly 4 seconds behind in P6. So let's pop on board with Tinsley here. His soft tires over 2/3 of the way worn out already after only just a couple of laps on them. Really trying to find some pace, but not increasing his delta now. Sorry, decreasing his delta to Tinsley is more like increasing it. Rosario increasing that time now 6.5 seconds. Tinsley P2, 5 seconds separating him and Bottle Fed. Tinsley a little squirrely as he comes through Spoon there, holds on to the car though. 5 seconds separating him and Bottle Fed. Bottle Fed in P3 in his Mustang. Medium tire still serving him well, fuel still serving him well. G sitting in P4. Let's hop back on board with Tinsley here. Tinsley's going to go ahead and go one more lap. Fuel light shouting at him in the dashboard. He's not going to pay it any mind. He's going to go ahead and hold on to P2 for as long as he can here. Board with G. G's trying to decrease that gap to himself and Bottle Fed. 1.7 seconds separating these drivers here. Increasing his gap though to Zester. 3 seconds last time we checked in, nearing 5 seconds now. Zester's soft tires really starting to give up a lot of grip and pace for him now. Captain not too far behind now, less than 3 seconds separating these two drivers. Captain running on some fresh mediums, barely full tank of fuel there. Over halfway gone with this race. Their co-drivers starting to spread out a little bit more as everyone starts to find a race pace. Especially after we had an inch incredible start to the race. There's so many position changes, I doubt Crofty could have kept up. Let's check in with the grid from the bottom up. We got Nosfox sitting here in a P14, not losing too much time to the leaders, but not gaining too much either. We've got Sweaty Palms in the same position here in P13, but going purple now, giving me a reason to stick on him here for a little bit. In the Flying Fox Toyota concept here. Sweaty Palms hard on the ankles. He comes to the first part of the Dagger corners now. Lets the car coast through the second half here. See what kind of time he's going to be setting here. Still setting a personal best, but losing out on that fast lap time. The thing he does is he comes through the hairpin corner here. Keeps it clean and tight. He gets on the power early. A great exhaust note on that Toyota in that shot there. Sweaty full on the skinny pedal here as it comes up to spoon hard on the anchors for the first part of it. Keeps the car tight. He runs it up to the curbing there. Stay on board with him one more time as he comes out of spoon corner down the back straight. Gets ready to come out of second two into the third second. See how time he's going to set himself here. Sweaty 2/10 faster. Not going to be good enough so far for the fastest lap, but it is going to improve upon his fastest lap time here. And does manage to knock a full second off of that delta between himself and Stacken. One at 59.4. Not too much faster than his previous fastest lap, but a great lap to watch nonetheless, Sweaty. Checking in with Victory Pace Racing and Stacking the Yak in P12 here. 2.5 seconds separating himself and teammate Merge. Commentator's curse getting to him there. Picking up some grass through the S's. Throwing him all the way up to the barrier, unfortunately. Merge dropping down a couple positions here. He's going to lose it to his teammate and to Sweaty. Merge down into P13 now. Sweaty moving himself up into P12. He is within attack distance shortly of Stacking the Yak. If he can hold on those soft tires, Stacking his medium tires is just a little bit better though. We got Method out here in P10, finding a little bit of breathing room finally after having quite the eventful few laps there just a few short minutes ago. Tinsley finally diving into the pits, picking himself up a fresh set of medium tires. That's going to drop him down into P9. Tinsley, though, still holding on to our fast lap time in the Pro-Am of 58.7 so far. Jenny babying those medium tires as well, sitting in P8. Zester diving into the pits, though. Can't wait to see what his tire condition was. But easy undercut for Jenny. That's going to move her up into P7. Williams sitting in P6. No trouble around him right now in his no limit 911. He's got a 5-second gap between himself and SoCal sitting in P5 with the Flying Fox Aston. He's starting to get himself a bit of a run on. Williams makes a move up on the inside. Lag picking up there on the TCR captain. Let's hop on board with SoCal as he sits all over the bumper of captain here as both drivers get ready into the Dagner corners. Both keeping it clean. SoCal not able to find any extra pace through it. Still sliding in up behind captain now as both drivers head up to the hairpin. Hard on the anchors. Captain, a little bit of connection issue there, it looks like. Rubber banding across the screen, unfortunately. That's going to make SoCal's job of getting around just that much harder, unfortunately. Drivers now entering the screw corner. Captain a little bit wide. SoCal easing off the accelerator, unsure which way he wants to go. Captain rubber banding ahead a little bit there, 0.3 of a second separating them. Let's hop back into fancy can here as these drivers come up to 130R. SoCal letting off the accelerator, letting the aero wash pull them along right behind Captain there. Gonna be hard on the anchors. Both drivers go into the chicane. Half-second delta separating drivers. SoCal not able to complete last lap. So 5 for now. 37 minutes gone in the Pro-Am race around Suzuka tonight. Sigma GT Challenge brought to you by Six Sigma Racing. SoCal thinking about a move on the inside on T1. Has to touch the grass a little bit to avoid contact. Concedes position back to captain there. SoCal trying everything he can in his Aston to get around TCR captain there. SoCal, P5, half second, still separating both of these drivers. Williams, that gap starting to increase as well. Captain with a little bit of lag there, almost looked like running wide, going back hard onto the corner. SoCal's going to want to get around something quick. SoCal move along the inside on the hairpin, makes it stick. TCR captain going a little bit wide there. SoCal, brave with the lag, decides to try the move anyway, does make it stick. The TCR captain, though, not happy about it, going to try to make a move along the outside here as both drivers come into Spoon Corner. SoCal protecting the inside line. Captain going wide. Captain, a little bit more pace for the first half of the corner, is able to make the overtake stick and takes P4 back from SoCal there. SoCal dropping half second behind again. Unfortunate for SoCal not able to make the move at the hairpin hold. Check back in with the top part of the field here. We've got G on medium tires starting to make a run on a bottle fed. 1 second separating both of these drivers here. Bottle fed's medium tires slightly more worn down than G's. Not enough to be noticeable with grip. Looks like bottle fed getting a little bit better run through the corner there, but G getting a little bit better exit through the first corner there. Still 1 second separating both of these drivers now. Rosario still sitting out in a P1, 13 seconds ahead, running 2 lap times consistently throughout the field. Same as Model Fed, 13-second gap separating these drivers. Trying to hold off G making a move up in the no limit 911. Still that 1 second split between the drivers here. Rosario P1, bottle fed, 13 seconds behind P2, getting ready to have a battle with G here in P3. TCR captain sitting in P4 with SoCal. Like SoCal's going to make a move again here. Let's see if we can do another onboard here. SoCal still sitting in P5, that half-second gap. A little squirrely on the curb there, coming through 130R. Heavy on the anchors, finding every bit of curving you can through the final chicane. Little squirrely coming out of it. Soft tires are really well worn down. Not able to find the same grip that Captain was. Captain increasing that gap from half second to nearly a second now. Williams just now crossing the finish line, 6th place. Jenny, healthy delta between both those drivers, 14 seconds separating P6 and P7. For her lap times here. Inslee making up 1 position since we last checked in, making his way up into P8 with that delta looking like probably taking an undercut on Zester going into the pits. Zester running on some fairly new medium tires would confirm my suspicion would confirm my suspicion as much with that sweaty pump in P10. Soft tires completely gone up front. That's costing him time. It's a Zester now. You can see that delta increasing on the left-hand side of the screen. 4, 5, 6. Sweaty going to need to hit the tires here soon. Fox picking up in some positions now, making it up to P11. Birch, P12. Once again, picking him up as his tail end is in the grass, which is going to avoid Birch for the rest of the race in the commentator's person. We've got Method sitting in P13. Yeah, running good P14 in victory pace GTR. Front runner Rosario in the 911, medium tires over halfway worn down now, 14 seconds separating him and the next driver. Nothing but 2 minute and 2:01 lap times on the board here. Tinsley still holding on to that fast lap at 58.780. Got Bottle Fed popping into the pits there. G making his way up into P2. SoCal not far behind, picking up P3. So Bottle Fed, unfortunately, losing several positions throughout his pit, going from P2 to P8. He's going to try to run the rest of this race on a fresh set of soft tires, though. Let's go ahead and have a look at the rest of the field in front of him, how they're doing their tires. Tinsley's medium tires only slightly worn there. Won't have the same kind of grip and pace that Bottlefed's going to have in the exact same car. Jenny's medium tires incredibly worn down now. Her pace is going to start suffering. You can see that in the delta there as that starts dropping just a little bit. Williams, his medium tires about to go. Nearing an empty tank in his no limit 911. Captain's medium tires about to go. SoCal's, G's, Rosario's, everyone's tires close to letting go here, not to mention Rosario needing to pit. Bottlefed might have the strategy here with the early pit stop for the rest of the race as we get ready to approach the 45-minute mark here. Rosario diving into the pits now. G coming over the final chicane. He's got SoCal and Captain not far behind him. And SoCal diving into the pits, giving P3 up. I'm sorry, giving up P2 now to Captain. Captain taking the easy undercut for now. Not sure if that's going to translate to an overcut for him, though, here in the next lap. He is going to need to pit again. Bottlefed now out of the pits. We've got SoCal, Williams, and Jenny all in pit row right now. Bottlefed coming out of pits. I'm sorry, SoCal coming out of the pits. Bottlefed taking a position as well. SoCal dropping into P6. Williams just now coming out of the pits. It's going to be P7 for him for now. Zester getting himself the cut on Jenny. Jenny's still in the pits now. P9. No worries to any traffic behind her, though, as Ross Fox goes into the pit, being next driver behind. Let's see if it's going to give Method an opportunity to get himself a cut now. As we got Method and Sweaty both coming over the final chicane. Sweaty sitting on a fresh set of soft tires, trying to stay in the slipstream of Method. Method giving one defensive move along the inside. Sweaty thinks about it, has to get on the anchors though, slots in behind Method through the first corner now. Method sitting in P10, Sweaty in P11 in the Toyota concept. Kicking the Toyota up on the curb, kicking up the dust behind him as he tries to close the delta so he can attack Method ahead of him. Method building a little bit of breathing room as they come up the hill to the left-hander towards the Degners. And G goes into the pits. G has pit. Rosario, easy cut for him. He's going to go ahead and take P2 now. And only 10 seconds separating him and Captain in P1. Captain, fuel light on, not going to be able to finish this race without pitting again, kicking up a little bit of dust through the S's there. Tinsley, halfway worn medium tires. A little bit over half a tank. SoCal not far behind him there in P4. Tinsley and Rosario still getting all of the cheers in the chat. Guys, if you're watching, be sure you check out the Six Sigma Sim Racing. They are our illustrious sponsors for the series this season. Go check them out on the website there that I just put in the chat. Also, if you're not following along into the stream or the channel, go ahead and hit that follow button. I'm 8 away from the March goal. I'm looking for 150. It would really mean a lot. Appreciate you guys coming out, watching the racing tonight. Stick around for the pro lobby. The boys going to be racing. But now let's get back to the action. SoCal making a move along the inside of Tinsley, trying to take P3. Not able to find as much pace as Tinsley is in that Mercedes. Tinsley holding on to P3. SoCal all over the bumper of him there, hopping back on board with SoCal now as both drivers come up the Spoon corner. SoCal making a move along the inside. Makes the move stick, takes P3 away from Tinsley. Tinsley dropping down into P4, now has to deal with the bottle fed behind him. Brave move from SoCal through Spoon corner. Takes the inside line, takes P3 away. All three drivers now coming through 130R. SoCal in third, Tinsley in fourth, bottle fed in fifth. Tinsley catching a little bit of aero wash behind bottle fed there, seeing red mist. Bit dirty tire there, doesn't have a full Spinella though, is going to drop down into P5 unfortunately. Captain just now diving into the pits, he's going to be able to take that away. Ooh no, Captain gets out of the pits though. We got G making a move alongside Tinsley, onto the inside of the first part of the corner. G's going to make the move stick, he takes P5 away, Tinsley dropping that into P6 now. Tinsley, a little bit of work to do for the rest of this race. 50 minutes gone here at the 10-minute remaining mark, everybody. Tinsley, P6, Zester sitting in a P7. Starting to find a little bit of consistency on the medium tires, hitting 2:01 lap times. You got the Williams in a P8. Now we've got Jenny less than a second behind now, wanting to make a move on the attack. We've got Jenny on the soft tire. And Jenny going purple out of the S's. Let's stick on board with this battle here as Jenny goes purple for fastest lap so far and is trying to close the distance on Williams in his no limit 911. Jenny losing the fast lap, but still nearly a second for her fast lap, for her personal. Nice clean inside line through the hairpin there. Williams going to have to contend with this Lexus here shortly as both drivers approach Spoon corner. So Williams in first, Jenny less than a half second behind. Coming out of Spoon corner, Zester, a little bit of an off there, rejoins the track. So Williams having to get on the brakes to avoid contact with Zester. Jenny finding inside a little bit on him. He's going to be able to make it stick. Both drivers side by side through 130R. They're absolute maniacs as they have a drag race down to the final chicane. Zester's going to have the inside line for that one, so he's going to be able to protect P8, but Jenny getting a little bit better run out of the chicane all over the bumper of Zester there. Does have a little bit better pace. You see that delta dropping now. Don't know if Jenny's going to be able to make a move along the inside line here for the first corner. Hard on the anchor. Zester a little bit slower through the first corner than Jenny would like. Jenny with a lot of pace. Zester goes block off the outside line there. Jenny gets out of it. Decides to back off and have an attack at another point in the track. Jenny thinking about the outside through the right-hander here. Thinks better of it. Better pace coming out of it. Not going to be able to make the move stick coming uphill through the left-hander here. Still with better pace than Zester. Jenny all over the shot of Zester, smartly getting out of the aero wash before the heavy corners here. Sticking on board, we can see so much pace out of the corners from the Lexus than Zester is in the 911 there. Zester with a wiggle, that's going to cost him. Jenny stays out of it a little bit though in case Zester comes across. Jenny still sliding in 0.2 of a second behind Zester. All over the bumper gears, makes no difference. Both drivers once again coming into spoon corner. Zester hard on the anchors. Jenny sliding in behind. Thinking about a move along the inside. Not going to be able to do it. Zester goes to protect the inside line. Jenny hard on the accelerator out. Makes a move along the inside line. She makes it stick coming out of spoon corner. These drivers having a drag race here. And Jenny's going to take a P8 coming out of the straight, moves alongside in front of Zester. Going to dirty up the air behind him. He's going to have to get out of it unless he wants to go off the track and go on a date with Barry. He avoids it. Both drivers clean through. Patience paying off for Jenny and the Lexus, moving up into P8 with a brilliant move coming out of spoon corner there. Checking in with the rest of the field now. We've got Sweaty in P10. Method still in 11th. Nosfox sitting in a P12 now. TCR captain taking the fast lap, looking down with a 58.1, stacking a P13, and Merch in a P14, rounding out the grid. Rosario still out front. Have a little bit of an issue there. I think we just picked up the camera at a bad time. Rosario sitting out in front, 15 seconds separating him from SoCal. We've got SoCal, Bottlefed, and TCR 2, 3, and 4 respectively. 2 seconds separating P2 and P3, less than a second separating TCR captain and Bottlefed. Captain trying to close that gap with soft tires with much more grip remaining than Bottlefeds. You see that delta kind of dropping down just a little bit. TCR Captain going purple again on this lap, 0.2 purple. No doubt the slipstream from Bottlefeds and also Mercedes is helping out with that one. Little squirrely coming out of the final chicane, manages to hold on heavy on the accelerator coming out of it. TCR captain diving on the inside line, securing a 58 flat for his fast lap now. Still sitting in a P4, wanting to make a move along the bottle fat here at some point. The G down in P5. 7 seconds separating him and the rest of the field. 5 seconds in the back of the field separating him. Tinsley occupying a P6 now, also in a comfortable spot with no traffic around him. We've got Williams in a P7, Jenny in a comfortable spot in a P8. Zester sitting in a P9. Really the closest bit of our field to get out to Sweaty. Sweaty with 21 second delta separating him and Zester now. We've got Method in a P11, Nosfox still in P12. Our victory pace boys rounding out our grid with the stacking yak and Merch. So back up front with Rosario and sitting on board with him for a little bit. That's the problem with the Vito race. You don't get a whole lot of airtime, unfortunately. Rosario 14 second gap, starting to set some 59s and 58s. Not quite to the fast lap of Catherine, getting close to 58.6. Crossing the line for the second sector, 3/10 slower than his personal best, so not going to capitalize a fast lap here, but 14 seconds out in P1. doesn't secure quite a few points, I would say, with him. 3 minutes left in the race for the Pro-Am lobby tonight. Got Rosario out in front, SoCal in second, Bottlefed in third place. Captain still half a second behind, wanting to make a move around the Mercedes at some point before those 3 minutes are up. 6 seconds separating Captain and G-Web. G taking P5 for right now. We're going to hold on board with these two here. Still 0.8 of a second separating Captain from a podium right now. Looks like Bottlefed, more wear on his soft tires than the Captain. 2 minute warning left in the race. Captain's going to have himself one more lap to try to make a move to get himself onto the podium tonight. SoCal sitting in P2, 3 seconds separating Bottlefed and himself. As long as SoCal keeps it clean and keeps it on track, he's going to stand on the podium in P2 tonight. Can't say the same right now for Bottlefed. Mr. Captain sitting there in P4, just waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. Hopefully he's looking down at the time of race remaining. Drivers in the spin. Still leading. Bottlefed picking up a little bit of pace there. Captain going a little bit wide. Getting a little bit better exit from it though. Now down to a half-second split between these drivers. 1 minute remaining for the race. Some drivers are on final laps now. TCR Captain all over the back of Bottlefed's bumper now. This is his last opportunity to make any move. This is going to be his final lap. I wouldn't be surprised if I see TCR make a move to the inside here from T1. He does. He's going to be late on the brakes going into it. And no, we've had a little bit of contact there between a TCR Captain and a Bottlefed coming through the last lap of the first corner there. TCR Captain picking up P3. A little bit of late braking through T1 there. Bottlefed dropping down into P4 off of the podium. G still in P5 for right now. Tinsley still in P6. Williams still in P7. Jenny still in P8. Zester's going to be the first one to finish his race tonight. He's going to finish in a P9. Sweaty coming across the line now is going to finish in a P10. We've got Nosfox and Method, both drivers coming across the final chicane, down the final right-hand corner now, getting ready to cross the start-finish line. Nosfox finished this race P11. Method's going to finish this race P12. Stackenyak bringing it home P13. We've got teammate Merch not far behind, coming across the final chicane now. Merch down the final corner, across the start finish line. Is going to round out our grid 14 tonight. Got Rosario crossing the start finish line now. F. Rosario in the 911 taking home the victory at Suzuka tonight in the Pro-Am lobby. Congratulations to him. SoCal. Clean, consistent racing is putting him on the podium in P2 tonight as he comes across the start finish line. TCR Captain. Hard-fought battles, hard-fought defense from him. Sitting on the podium for now in P3. Bottlefed Mustang not far behind. P4. G-Web coming home in P5. Tinsley coming up to the final chicane now. Tinsley cleanly over the final chicane, going to bring it home P6. Williams in P7. And and Jenny with some classy overtakes and defense herself tonight. Round out our field. Final one to cross start finish line in a P8.